You know what they say, good things come to audiophiles who wait. I mean, with enough patience, there's a real good chance your favorite brand will release a product that finally does everything you've been waiting for. Sure, they may release a product or two in between, but stay the course, and eventually audiophiles, even recovering ones like me, you're going to get what you want. Take Cambridge Audio's newest EX line, which for now includes the EXA100, which is a brand new integrated amplifier and a matching streamer, the EXN100. Now, if you haven't kept up with all of Cambridge's new releases, no, the lookalike EXA100 is not the update to the CXA81 that we reviewed a couple of years ago. Now, the CXA81 now has a version 2 edition, which is little more than an incremental upgrade of the original. Confused yet? Oh, it gets better. Now, according to the brand, the EXA100 has more in common with Cambridge's costlier Edge series, the $5,000 M amplifier, that produces 200 watts per channel. The EXA100 uses a similar Class AB design, but produces 100 watts per channel in 8 ohms and 155 watts in 4. Now, unlike the M, the EXA100 is an all-inclusive integrated amplifier with both analog and digital inputs that include a built-in DAC with an ESS ES9018 K2M chipset. Now, of the 4 analog inputs, one even lets you choose balanced or unbalanced connections that can be used with the 100's power amp mode. The power amp mode effectively turns the EXA into a dedicated stereo amplifier, to use with either a third-party preamp or the EXN100 streamer in its preamp mode. The EXA100 has 2 sets of 5-way binding posts for speaker A/B switching or dual zone control, and it also features a pair of preamp outputs for those needing additional power, not to mention a dedicated subwoofer out. However, it does not have any internal bass management. Another notable omission is a missing built-in phono preamp. I don't know, maybe Cambridge figures you already own one of their standalone phono preamps, or that their Alva TTV2 or Alva ST turntables that have built-in phono preamps are already in your system. Who knows, but considering the CXA81 V2 also emits this feature, I'm not really sure why Cambridge didn't just include it in the 100. That would have made it easier for consumers to choose between the products and which one was best for them. Now, shifting to the 100's digital features, this amp offers several input options that include optical, coaxial, and USB. But the real standout is the 100's inclusion of HDMI with EARC, a feature that is strangely missing from the CXA81 V2, and why I chose to skip that product's release entirely. As expected, the 100's built-in digital to analog converter handles high-res music and DSD files. It also supports Bluetooth 5.0 with aptX HD, but it doesn't have built-in streaming services or an app. I guess this is a strategy to maintain sales of Cambridge's dedicated streaming devices, including the new EXN100, which I'll get to in a minute. There's not too much to the EXA100 setup, since it has no app support or built-in streaming. Once you connect your speakers and your analog or digital sources, you're done. For this review, I tested the EXA100 with 3 different speakers: the Monitor Audio Studio 89 bookshelf speakers, our reference Sonus Faber Lumina 2s, and the SVS Titan Towers. The EXA100 had no issues driving any of these speakers, although I do have just a few notes regarding the Titans, so hang tight. We also used an Apple TV 4K, which was connected to the Sony X90L TV with audio pass-through and HDMI connection to the Cambridge. This setup allowed us to listen to music via Apple Music and stream TV shows and movies, with the Cambridge serving as the control center of a 2.1 home theater-like experience with the new SVS SB17 handling subwoofer duties. I also evaluated the 100's built-in DAC using Cambridge Audio's new EXN100 as well as my reference CXN100 streamer DAC. Remember, the EXA100 does not have a phono preamp, but since our Alva TTV2 turntable does, I spun a few records using its Bluetooth connection to minimize cable clutter. After spending some time with the Marantz Model 60N, I can confidently say that the EXA100 offers a noticeably fuller and richer tone with a bit more low end. Although frequency sweeps showed no significant difference in the 2 amplifiers' in-room responses, the listening experience between the Cambridge and the Marantz is entirely distinct. The overall sound of the 100, it's just fuller, giving a nice emphasis to the bass and lower mid-range, which adds a richer quality to everything you listen to. The way the 100 handles the low-end sound is clear and precise, not at all fuzzy or vague, or what some may refer to as warm. The bass and lower mid-range were well controlled and offered a lot of detail and a nice texture with just that hint of bloom for effect, for an impressive sense of body down low. In many ways, its low mid-range and bass reminds me a lot of what I love about that McIntosh sound. And when comparing the McIntosh MC312 directly to the Cambridge in its strict amplifier mode, using the EXN100 streamer as the preamp for both the EXA100 and the MC312, I found that when driving the Sonus Faber Lumina 2s at volumes between, say, 75 and 80 dB in room, there actually isn't much that is distinguishable between these two amplifiers, aside, of course, from price. However, when the SVS Titans were brought in and I increased the volume to around 95 to 100 dB peaks in room, the performance difference between the Cambridge and the McIntosh became much easier to spot. For example, when listening to Audio Slave's Cochise or Michael Jackson's Black or White, both amps delivered a powerful low-end sound. However, spatially, the Mac stood out because it maintained a clear, full sound even at those really high volumes. It effortlessly balanced detail and energy without losing its focus. On the other hand, the Cambridge amplifier kind of struggled when pushed really hard, making the sound feel forward or shouty. However, when I lowered the volume of the Titan to around 70 to 80 dB in room, the two amps were more evenly matched. Is there a difference? Of course there is. Is the McIntosh better? Yes, you bet. But unless you're a Carl who likes to keep things rocking at full blast, the EXA100 is still quite the capable amp, especially at these more moderate volumes. It even has a little bit of that rich McIntosh vibe. The 100's mid-range has a nice sound that is very easy on the ears, making it perfect for long listening sessions no matter what music genre you like. It might not be ruthlessly neutral like NAD because it has a bit of extra weight in the lower mid-range, but a lot of people, you might find that more enjoyable. Just a heads up though, that added bass and lower mid-range energy can make things just a little bit fuzzy, especially for voices like mine or instruments in the same frequency range. Now, since the Cambridge, it just doesn't have any tone controls, some folks like Christy, they might have a little bit harder time tweaking the sound to their liking. Regardless of the volume, I found that the highs on the 100 were just a tad rolled off compared to the Marantz 60N, but they didn't have the same airy feel as the Mac. At higher volumes, the 100's treble felt a bit more in your face, but it definitely stayed more composed than the Marantz 60N when things got really loud. And the Cambridge does a fantastic job when it comes to soundstage and dynamics. I think the SVS SB17 played a role in helping boost the spaciousness and snap of the 100, though on its own. The Cambridge has a wide soundstage that stretches well beyond the speakers, giving a nice sense of depth and a natural and clear separation between instruments and vocals. Now, amps like the ROTEL 1592 Mark II, even though it is getting a bit old at this point, are better at really nailing that definition, especially between the speakers, and the same goes for the Marantz Model M1. Honestly, the Cambridge feels more natural, while some competitors have a more precise control room-like vibe. Now, the dynamics are impressive, with plenty of power and solid low-end kick, but the ROTEL and the M1 will give you more immediate snap and recoil. Even though the DAC in the EXA100 is the same one that you're going to find in the EXN100 streamer, I wasn't about to miss an opportunity to see if the saying about separate DACs is always being better, see if it holds up. I hooked up the EXN streamer to the EXA amp using both analog and digital cables for an A-B comparison. Now, I noticed a small difference in gain when using the EXN100's internal DAC and analog output, but beyond that, there wasn't a huge difference in sound quality. And this may be the biggest issue facing the EXA100. Yeah, it looks great when paired with the equally expensive EXN100, and yes, I get it, it needs a streamer if you're into that sort of thing. But I didn't hear a significant upgrade by going with the EXN100 over something more budget-friendly but visually different, like Cambridge's CXN100 or AXN line of streamers connected digitally to the EXA100's DAC. There is a lot of redundancy between the two EX products, which really confuses me. As I started to learn about the EXA100, the first comparison that leapt to mind were Yamaha's 2000A and their more affordable 1000A. It's easy to pass off the Cambridge as the bargain, and if you are only shopping for the EXA100 and not the EXA100 and EXN100 combo, you're right, it is a bargain. However, to match the performance and features of the 2000A, you have to invest in both Cambridge Cambridge pieces, in which case you're spending exactly the same money. While the Yamaha 2000A doesn't have the EXN100's bright color screen, it does have built-in streaming, HDMI, a great phono preamp, tone controls, Y-POW room correction, and real meters. As much as I enjoyed the Cambridge gear, the Yamaha 2000A is the better value despite costing the same. The 2000A is more neutral than the Cambridge, and it has no difficulty driving more challenging speakers like the Titans at those louder volumes. If the 2000A is a stretch and you can stomach losing the meters, the 1000A costs less than the EXA100 while offering similar levels of performance with the same feature set as its big brother, the Yamaha 2000A. Then there is the AUDIOLAB 7000A. At less than $1,500, the AUDIOLAB's 70 to 100 watt range, it's not as powerful as the Cambridge, but minus that, it has damn near everything the EXA100 has, plus a built-in phono preamp that is really good. If you're on the market for a neutral to maybe warm side of neutral amplifier and you don't need the extra watts to push your speakers into low Earth orbit, do not sleep on the AUDIOLAB 7000A. Add a WIM or one of Cambridge's AXN streamers and you're going to be out the door for less than what the EXA100 will cost you. But the real dark horse of 2024 is the often overlooked ROTEL 5000. It's nearly $1,000 cheaper than the Cambridge EX Combo or the Yamaha 2000A, but the 5000 can pretty much do everything they can in terms of features, plus its amp section is an absolute smoke show compared to those other brands. If you're after a neutral amp that can handle any speaker you throw at it, big or small, the ROTEL 5000 might just be the sleeper hit of the year. Honestly, the more I mess around with these all-in-one streaming amps, the more I regret sending that ROTEL back. In the end, I am stoked that Cambridge came to market with the EXA100. It is the integrated amp they have been needing to make, one that is probably even more important than the version 2 of the CXA81. The EXA100 is actually a really solid upgrade for anyone looking to swap out their old CXA stuff without having to drop a ton of cash on a full-edge system. That said, while Cambridge fans might finally have something to cheer about, the EXA100 is stepping into a market with some pretty stiff competition. So that's it from me and my review of Cambridge Audio's new EXA100. And I know already some of you are like, you didn't compare it to the CXA81. There's a reason for that, and I have a ton of feelings that go a little bit beyond this review. So if you want to know what I'm about to rant about, be sure to tune in Friday for our next episode of Unplugged, where we also get to find out what Christy thought of the new EXA series. But until then, if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Go ahead, ring that bell so that you're notified when new videos come out. If you use any of the links that Christy's left for you down below, know that that's a great way that you've continued to show your support for this channel and the work that we both do here, and both of us thank you all very much for doing that. Follow me on Instagram at Recovering Audiophile, and that is it for us today. So remember, the only person who has to like the sound of your system is you. So happy listening, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you at the, have a good rest of your, I don't know what I was about to say. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.